All right, we made it out to the Tosohatchee Wildlife Management Area a little before 7 o'clock, right at sunrise on Thursday, April the 10th, 2025. It's nice to get out here bright and early. I've never been out here quite this early. We'll see if we see any wildlife, but we're also going to do some fishing at Little Lake Charlie. I've actually never gone fishing at Little Lake Charlie, so I figured, you know what, let's get an early start and see what we get. So off we go.
Hey, what do you say? This whole town could be red by the end of the day. If you feel alright, we could throw it and drive. With the radio so loud they can hear us from miles. Let the good times roll.
So far conditions are dry. We haven't had a lot of rain lately. It's not wet season yet. Wet season out here is later in the year usually. September is usually pretty good and wet. Road's in pretty good condition so far. Usually is, though. When it gets wet, it gets a little more beat up. Alright, we're rounding the corner here. Gonna pull up to Lake Charlie. See what we get. Hopefully we'll be alone. Going underneath the 528. Lake Charlie Road. The roads have been pretty good. It looks like they've been doing some work out here. Past a couple of front end loaders and whatnot, heavy equipment. So it looks like they're all pretty freshly graded. A couple spots where it was washed out a little bit, but nothing that you couldn't get through. All right, here we are at Lake Charlie. Looks like we got the place to ourselves. Sorry, windshield's a little fogged up. Got the windows down. It's 59 degrees outside. Beautiful Lake Charlie. We're gonna go down there and grab our fishing gear and get set up. We'll come back and get Sawyer. Just had a great blue heron land over there. You can't see him now, but got a little bit of fog rolling off the water. Pretty nice. Nice cool day. See what we get. All right, we are set up down at the dock down there. Got my big gulp irrigator there. Got Sawyer over here taking a pee after the drive. It's about 20 minutes or so from the entrance of Tosohatchee Wildlife Management Area to this spot. And I was doing about 25, 30 down the roads when I could. It's supposed to only be 20, but they're pretty smooth, so I was able to cruise along pretty good. So yeah, let's see what we get. I did spot a gator over there earlier. Oh, what is it? What do you see? There's a gator floating over there. Not sure what he sees. Could be a squirrel. Hopefully it's nothing. Oh yeah, there's a squirrel up on the tree there. We're out here all by ourselves. All right, come on. Oh, there's all kinds of ruckus in the trees. All kinds of squirrely ruckus in the trees. All right. Here we are at the dock. All right, let's go on the dock. This way. There we go. We'll get him tied up. And this is it, Lake Charlie. Breeze is coming at me. It was a little chilly. I didn't think I need a jacket, but I probably could have used one. All right, Bubbas. We're gonna post up right here, okay? All right. So, been pretty quiet out here so far, but there's a big boy right there just cruising along. Not sure how well you can see him. It's pretty neat. Shouldn't pose any threat to us. You can see the sun starting to hit the lake. Very peaceful and serene. Doing up a different lure there. Threw the worm out a few times. That's just so cool to see that gator just cruising across the lake like that. I'm gonna guess he's probably about 6 feet long, somewhere in there. So I've been out here at Lake Charlie for the past hour or so, fishing. Unfortunately, no luck. Tried a number of different lures. I'm really rusty with fishing. So who knows? I probably didn't have the right gear, but needless to say, it was nice. It was peaceful. We did keep our eye on a couple of guys. So I was over at this particular pond, which is a little side shoot of Lake Charlie, throwing my lure out there, and this guy over here, right there in the middle, been keeping an eye on me. So my battery cut off on me. So I was throwing my line out over here in this little pond, which I'm walking away from the car. There's a little bathroom, whatever. And unfortunately, like I said, no luck with fishing, but this guy was on the right side back over there. And he was just chilling, you know, about halfway up in the pond. And throwing my line out there. And he slowly started moving from over there to there. And he's currently right there. So anyhow, no big deal. That's what gators do. Well, out of nowhere, he starts coming straight at me, head on, like full speed. So I decided not to find out exactly what he was trying to ask of me, or what he wanted from me, or in this particular area of the pond, because it's clearly his pond, and I wanted to respect that. But anyway, he settled down. He's just chilling right there, definitely watching. Probably about 5 footer, I'm gonna guess. 4.5, somewhere in there. Anyhow, an hour fishing at Lake Charlie. Unfortunately, no luck. We'll need to do some research. Although, you know, silly me, silly goose, actually dumb me. There's this thing right here. I wonder if it says what's good for what. A sign here. I've read it before, put it on video before. So largemouth bass, golden shiner. Speckled perch. Bluegill, crickets and grass shrimp for bluegill. Light tackle, because their mouths are very tender for the speckled. So I guess the gear I was using was, I didn't have anything live. I was using lures, so definitely bass lures, little shiners. All right, off we go. All right, so we're gonna move along. Poked my head in the bathroom there just to check the state of the union on it, and leave behind some of my Polar Pop that I've been sipping on all morning. We're gonna head on down Lake Charlie Road here a little bit, little cardinal in the middle of the road there. See what's down at the end. I mean, there's nothing down at the end, but maybe we'll see something along the way. You never know. So we're gonna head out to the Bumby Camp Trail here, or head down it rather. I mean, we're at it. So this is a little pathway trail. It goes for a while. Apparently it's a big loop, also known as a long leaf loop trail. But many years ago, a gentleman by the name of Bumby, also a very substantial central road in Orlando named Bumby Avenue, he had a hunting camp out here before this was anything. Again, I should probably pull up some statistics on it, but it's known as the Bumby Camp, and there's a little remnant left back here. The chimney remains from the campsite homestead that once was. Sometimes this trail can get pretty overgrown. It's actually pretty good right now. So we'll take a walk down here and show you. They put a fence up around it a few years ago, which was fantastic. That's because people would come out, and unfortunately, as they do with abandoned things, they vandalize or take bricks or, you know, touch, and it just does not lend to the preservation of whatever it is. All right, so you can start to see perhaps the fence surrounding it up here. It's literally just a few minutes, if that, to get here. It's actually really neat. Just out here in the middle of nowhere remains this chimney. We've been out here and videoed this before, but yeah, to me it's still neat to see this. Here, Boobas. Kind of cool to think that at one point in time there was, I mean, this is not a small chimney. I mean, just the opening of itself, I mean, that's 4x4 anyhow. 4x4.5, 5. So it's a good sized chimney. There's some metal around it as well. Oops, I just got yoked by the dog. These are hog ruts here, where the wild hogs come and they root up the ground. It's very peaceful out here, though. Ooh. Sawyer sometimes has a mind of his own. Not sometimes, all the time. What am I talking about? But anyhow, the trail goes on down that way. I do have my hiking boots on today, but I am wearing shorts, so I don't feel like doing anything that's too overgrown. Go down here just a little bit, and it's pretty much like this the whole way, at least as far as I've been. But very, very peaceful and serene. Alrighty, let's go back this way. Oh yeah. If anybody's wondering, these hiking boots are oboes. Not sponsored. I'm not sponsored by anything but myself and my joy for just getting out with a dog. But they're fantastic. I've had Keen and others as well, but these are just absolutely great. There it is. There it goes. My problem is I have flat, wide feet, so it's hard to find something where my toe doesn't get smooshed up against the side of the shoe. And these are fantastic. All right, back to the Jeep. And we'll head on. We'll make our way towards the St. Johns River. Pretty sure they haven't repaired the bridge that would connect Powerline Road, which means we have to go all the way back around, but we'll see. May stop and throw our line in the water again for a little bit. And then I guess head back to crazy Orlando. No agenda, no rush, which is the best thing ever. It's the only way to do life. Unfortunately, the power company and the mortgage company, they don't seem to think that way. So we have to work. But when we can, this is the way to do it. All right, we made it back here. Not I make it sound like it was this big long walk. It really wasn't. It's only been maybe 10 minutes or so. But time to get Sawyer some water. You see the pack out here. Brought this cooler just in case. This is great. I got it on Amazon. It's Titan, so it's kind of like a medium-sized cooler, just in case I caught a fish and I could throw it in there. And I was really kind of hoping to catch some fish and do like a fish fry for dinner. But I often don't show videos of the Jeep. But back there, the JL Audio 8's JL Audio 5-channel amp, the audio control sound processor. But we're gonna give Sawyer some water here. This other little cooler, it's more like my lunch bag. Amazon finds. Amazon just gets so much of my money. I'm sure I'm not the only one. All right, you ready for some water? Watch this guy drink water. It's something else. He loves it right out of the bottle. Yeah, you ready? Ready? Okay. Huh? Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. Oh gosh. Oh goodness. He's just such a happy, thankful dog. Okay. You want some more water? I don't think he understands. I'm sure he doesn't understand the camera. So he's not drinking it like normal. He'll usually drink it right out of the bottle. I mean, you saw a little bit of that, but yeah. He likes to go between the legs. Don't go between the legs, especially with wet mouth. Okay, you done? I love this leash. You can hook them again. Another Amazon find. Everything is from Amazon. God darn China food stuff. But anyway, it's good. I try to find stuff that's made in America. But all right, Bubba, we done? We done? Yeah. Alrighty. All right. Well, off we go. Hitting the remainder of Tosohatchee down to the St. Johns River. That'll be the next stop, St. Johns River.